fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? The answer was to try. The outcome was to fail. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in, into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. Rather worse, actually. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. We might chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around the corner. We might cross paths with a miracle round the bend. Then again, we might not. All of this, it must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly. It means that a reckoning's coming. And I'll be the one to pay up. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. And you'll have them, but I can't promise you'll like them.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Speak.
To think, Gales had this devastating war within himself the entire time, and only just mentioned it. Who'd keep a secret like that from his friends? You can't trust anyone these days. Now's not the time. Do you mind?
Sir Gale's been walking around this whole time with some sort of magic bomb in his chest. I'm not normally one to begrudge someone their secrets, but that's something I should know.
Fine. What's on your mind?
How are you holding up? Don't be so modest.
Hiya. The year, 10 Air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-kneed delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell. Guy named Gortash. Politician. Inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job. A good job. With people I liked. Doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Ugh, to feel so invincible again. Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close. I'd trade you if I could. I miss it more than anything. But hey, that's life. Or so I'm told. Why are we slowing down? First things first, I need to get this engine tuned up. Thing's powerful, but it's been feeling volatile ever since I left the Hells. Can't be too hard to find an infernal mechanic round here, right? You really did it, huh? Not worried about adding more Illithid into the mix? Well, what can I say? You look fine, smell fine, seem fine. And yet, you're more mind flayer than ever. Hope you don't expect me to follow your lead in this. Do they? I'm not sure either of us can say one way or the other. We don't know what the costs might be just yet. Good. And you know, keep an eye on yourself. If you start feeling loopy, shout. We don't know what these tadpoles are capable of.
Speak.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Well, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
Gods damn it. Anyone but her.
You flatterer. Why, if I had a warm heart, I'm sure it would be skipping. Call me Mizora. I'm Will's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Will. But Karlach's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Mizora. And at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlach, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless.
Karlach meets the criteria by virtue of having no heart. Don't you worry. That ship has long sailed the Styx. But a defiant pup must still pay his price. To wit.
Will burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet. There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo. Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlach, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you.
Oh, and Will, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
Gods damn her, straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mizora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings. I'll say what I can, but it won't. It's Mizora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word.
I'll be honest, soldier. I'm reeling. Will hardly knows me, but he chose my life over his. Been a long time since someone stuck their neck out for me like that. Gobsmacked, really. But grateful. Really grateful. I could learn a thing or two from a man like that. Hopefully we won't turn into mind flayers first.
So, Will did the right thing, and it earned him a set of horns. Let that be a lesson to us all. Well, hello. What can I do for you? Do you mind? Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Well, well, well.
At least things have stayed interesting.
What a charmer.
Let's get going.
ages. Ugh. Shouldn't nature be beautiful and serene? It looks so nice in the upper city parks.
Upper City, huh? Swish. Never spent much time there myself.
I'll happily take you, if we survive this bug's banquet.
Sounds good. I've always been curious what a Patriarlu looks like.
Apart from an overgrowth of moss, the well looks unremarkable. The coin disappears into the well. After a moment, you hear a soft clink, not a splash.
Better be careful. Those webs carry vibrations.
My little trick. again.
Under their noses.
hells.
One day I'll catch a break. Come on, can't stay idle.
Incoming.
Going from here. Time for some bloody work.
Try something else.
Another step forward.
Much longer like this. What's it gonna take?
I won't give in. These boots have seen everything.
Do you mind?
Hey, soldier. Sounds boring. Oh, fine. I'll be here eating dirt or whatever.
I can't help having a devil in our camp will certainly make things interesting.
With pleasure. Lead on.
Seek and you shall find me.
Let's move.
Salutations. Elminster's not around, so might as well. I applaud your taste.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Well met. It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck. Not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places. But I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see? I can't tell if you're being silly or serious. I'll accept the flattery either way. I suppose I'll grow used to the new me. Horns and all. The people will see a curiosity. Maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters. Keep them safe. And one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again. A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to. We can have all for it, but it won't so much as chip one of her nailed claws. She'll escape to the Hells, and if we succeeded, my life would be taken in exchange. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mizora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads. I'm so sorry to give you another reason to sleep restlessly, but it's my burden to bear. She won't touch you unless there's something there for her to take. Don't give her so much as an inkling there might be.
Need something?
I'm sure you're perfectly delightful. I can't talk right now. I spy with my little eye.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
I'm not here for chit-chat.
All's well that ends... not as bad as it could have.
At the ready.
Looking ahead.
No, you haven't. Please, we just want Mayrina back. That orb seems powerful. What can it do once...
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see Mayrina.
Just let her go. Please.
You there? Please, I don't know what's come over these boys. I just want to go home.
The old woman's face creases with false concern. You realize she's lying about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Stop this! We won't ask again!
Bollocks! You were supposed to rush to my defense, love. Fat lot of good you are. Some advice? You ever darken my door, you'd best have that head bowed and an apology at the ready. Bye-bye now.
Bloody hells. She just disappeared. Ain't seen nothing like that before.
She could shoot fireworks out of her backside for all I care. The hag has Rena.
It's our sister, Mayrina. She's... well... she was in a bad way after her husband died.
Started saying weird things, like how she was gonna bring him back.
Next thing, she's gone looking for the hag. Of all the stupid things to do. And we haven't seen her since. And no good ever came from dealing with a hag.
None of this matters, all right? We need to get her back, and fast! Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. No way I'm leaving Rena to you.
But, Joel...
Not a chance. We're getting her back on our own. Now, come on.
A chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched. The place has a quiet sense of calm.
Oh dear. Someone's left a trap out for us.
The brothers. I guess they didn't find their sister.
These killings were deliberately brutal. There's something near that relishes in carnage.
Ah, stranger. Forgive the aroma.
You catch a waft of something foul, metallic, and sickly sweet.
Powdered iron vine. An old hunter's trick. Most monsters will think twice before making a meal of me.
You're a monster hunter. I'm surprised. I thought all Ger were vagrant cutthroats.
And more. We steal chickens, curse your crops, seduce your daughters, the list goes on. I wish I had half the power settled folk think my people possess. Alas, I am a simple wanderer. A simple wanderer and monster hunter. But I'm no witch doctor or cutthroat.
Something terrifying, no doubt. Dragon? Cyclops? Kobold?
Nothing so dramatic. I'm hunting for a vampire spawn. His name is Astarion, but I fear he's gone to ground. I hope the hag of these lands can help me flush him out, if I can afford her blood price.
I don't know. I'm sure a vampire spawn could still rip out your throat if he felt like it.
He is right, unfortunately. They are only weak when compared to their masters. During the day, we have the advantage, but at night, when they hunt, you'll not find a more deadly quarry.
We've all survived so far. Let's focus on that.
It would still be wise to post guards at night. The threat is real.
Indeed it is. We should do something about this threat. Excellent.
The vampire? It can't be.
Imperatus!
Indeed.
Nothing will stand in my way. I need to find a way forward.
You detected a child-stealing vampire. Bold choice.
Ah, my favorite traveling companion. Not anymore. Which is all that matters, really. Oh, there'll be others. I'm sure of that. If Cazador sent one peon after me, he'll send another. Cazador Szar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate, the patriarch of his coven and a monster obsessed with power. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. It was him, I'm sure. Only he would know to send the Gur after me. It was a group of Gur that attacked me that night in Baldur's Gate. I would have died had Cazador not appeared and saved me. Well, he didn't mention the slave clause at the time. And now he sends a Gur monster hunter for me. It's a message. He's reminding me of his power. Even in the middle of nowhere, he can reach me. And he wants me back. Maybe he wants to make an example of me, to show what happens to runaways. Or maybe he thinks death is too good for me. Safe! You think I'm safe? Do you know the power a vampire lord possesses? He can change shape, turn into mist, call wolves to do his bidding, shrug off blows like they're nothing. He could walk into our camp tonight and kill you with his bare hands. And you'd be lucky if death was the worst thing that happened to you. First, we have to... I
don't know. Well, if we kill his lackeys, he'll just send more.
We just have to be vigilant, keep our wits about us, and kill any monster hunters on sight. I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows.
It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador.
I'm glad to hear it. Whatever's coming, we need to keep our options open.
There you are, my friend.
Are you now? Don't make promises you can't keep, darling. Thankfully, I've had my needs met this evening. I found a bear. He took a little of my blood. I took all of his. You're comparing plonk to vintage wine. You can make merry with either, but they're not the same. But Cazador fed me rats and bugs. And when you're used to drinking from a sewer, even plonk is a marked improvement. I existed. That was enough for him. He reveled in having power over me. Because those with power can do whatever the hell they want.
Indeed they are. Now that I can walk in the sun, well, that opens all manner of doors. It could open some coffins, too. No, these tadpoles are a gift I intend to use to the fullest. You should do the same. I'm not here for chit-chat. I'm not here for chit-chat.
A chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched. The place has a quiet...
Looking at something? I'm looking too, but not seeing very much. Another quirk of my affliction.
preening in the looking glass. Petty vanity. Of course I miss it. I've never even seen this face. Not since it grew fangs and my eyes turned red. Aging? What do you mean, aging? I'm a vampire. Forever young. Really? Anything in particular? Very good. Now just tell me I'm beautiful and we can call it a day. Hardly. There's also gold, sex, revenge. Quite the list, really. But failing any of those, I will always settle for shallow praise. I'm not here for chit-chat. I suppose you want to hear about Cazador. My old master. Before the Mind Flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Cazador Szar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. He had me go out into Baldur's Gate to fetch him the most beautiful souls I could find. It was a fun little ritual of his. I'd bring them back, and he'd ask if I wanted to dine with him. And if I said yes, he'd serve me a dead, putrid rat. Of course, if I said no, he'd have me flayed. Hard to say which was worse. Thank you. But this isn't about sympathy. It's about knowing what we might be up against. The Mind Flayers aren't the only monsters out there. They're not even the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows. What more could I ask? Now, is that all?
Please, now's hardly the time.
Darling, I was just thinking about you. Remembering our time together, the things we've shared. And I don't just mean that lovely neck of yours. I'm growing to like the whole package. Honestly. And you clearly like me too. So... I could feel it as I was getting lost in your neck. Your little shakes of excitement. You enjoyed it, didn't you? Then let me make it up to you. You gave me a wonderful gift. It's only fair I return the favor. We could take an evening to ourselves, get away from camp, get some privacy. I know somewhere quiet, somewhere intimate, somewhere we can indulge in each other. Wonderful. I just hope we don't have to wait too long before we can steal away. But once we can, I promise you a night you'll never forget. See you there, lover. A quiet evening for once. Perfect for two people who'd like to take some time to themselves. If you catch my meaning.
And I do mean sex, to be clear.
We've been waiting long enough. Let's find our own little piece of nowhere. Somewhere we can lose ourselves and forget all this madness. There's a secluded place nearby that should do nicely. Wait until the others are asleep, then come and find me there. Indeed you will, my love. I can't wait. There you are. I've been waiting. Waiting since the moment I set eyes on you. Waiting to have you. Don't I? You're here. And I don't think you want to talk. I think you want to be known, to be tasted. What do any of us want? Pleasure. Yours, mine, our collective ecstasy. That's what you want, isn't it? To lose yourself in me. I thought so. It's a poem, a gift from Cazador. He considered himself quite the artist and used his slaves as a canvas. He composed and carved that one over the course of a night. He made a lot of revisions as he went. You've seen enough already. And if I can't see it, you certainly can't. No, I'm not. Whatever the bastard wrote, it won't change what he did to me. Now let's go, before I regret my restraint last night.
How can I help? I know what it is to hunger. And I know what it takes to keep that hunger under control. He's done that so far, despite his condition. So long as he sates his appetite elsewhere, I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well met.
I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need. Fate spins along, as it should. Have you need of my services? A mending of the should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more. A matter of coin. As thou desire.
Hello, beautiful.
Yes, darling.
It's always a pleasure to see you sauntering over.
I'm sure you're perfectly delightful, but I can't talk right now. Go ahead. I'm listening. I question the wisdom of that decision, but I'll be here in the meantime.
Hell yeah. Maybe later.
So, hey, we've got this soul coin, right? Thing is, I think I can use it. My engine can, anyway. Zariel used to top me up every now and again when she wanted me to go after an especially wicked target. Well, it's not the kind of thing I'd like to squander, see? A soul coin is a person, in a way. A lost person, mind. But something that can be put to a really good use. Fuck yes! Now I just need something to sink my teeth into.
Well met. Is there anything you need? Just some bits and bobs I no longer need. Sylvanas, guide your path.
Exposed now.
Can't keep the goblins out forever. This is no fortress and we're no warriors.
Depends. How many people are dumb enough to ask?
True.
What do we do for work when we get...
You ever scare me like that again, and I'll feed you to a gnoll.
Mom, I'm fine. Stop it.
Our little Hellion told us what happened. Thank you. Don't know what we'd do without her.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for helping me.
No helping it. We're exposed.
I miss my forge.
Thought I sensed an infernal around here. But you aren't from Elturel. What's your story?
I spent a good bit of time in the Hells. Enlisted against my will by the Archdevil Zariel. Same as you, I suppose, if you're from Elturel. The devils were delighted when your city was swallowed up. I thought they had you for keeps. Glad you got out.
I got lucky. It looks like you did too. And you brought some infernal machinery with you.
A little gift from Zariel. Keeps me burning hot.
Very hot by the smell of it. Might be burning out a piston ring or leaking oil. Mind if I take a listen?
Be my guest. But don't get too close or your eyes will melt shut.
Phew! You really are burning up. Whoever put that engine together tried to house metallurgized Demono valves inside a Ragnak's alloy casement. Very risky. I might be able to help. I'd need infernal iron. And a prayer that my hammer will survive the work. That thing isn't meant to operate outside of Vernus. I'm not sure how much longer it'll keep running the way it's going.
Will you be able to turn down the temperature a little? Worried I'm gonna go in for a handshake and singe someone's arm off one of these days.
I'd worry about surviving the night first. But help one, help both. If we can cool you off, it'll stabilize your engine and allow you to touch whomever you please.
Hey, soldier. I think we picked up some of that infernal iron already. What say you? Should I give it to him? Please let this work.
The weight of it. And that blaze of chaos. Can't imagine this where my heart should be. Must be quite the experience. Give me just a moment. And I think... There. You'll have to install it, I'm afraid. I don't think there are thick enough gloves in all the realms to protect from that kind of heat.
That feels... good. I'm still burning hot as hell's hole, but I feel less... changeable. Cheers, mate.
Pleasure. And as for the heat, I haven't got any solutions now, but I'm not giving up. Could be if the combustion chamber had its own insulation, or if we had some kind of enchanted coolant. Find me again in Baldur's Gate. If I'm worth my salt, I'll have figured something out by then. Take care, Karlach. And hopefully the next time I see you, I'll have something promising to report. Pocket any infernal iron you find along the way,
Take me. What I wouldn't do for better tools.
We're exposed now.
I wonder when the goblin will...
You say that like you're looking forward to it.
I could use the target practice.
Damon's upgrade didn't cool me down, but it did juice me up. I don't think I've ever felt more powerful. Sooner rather than later would be good. I feel like I'm burning serious fuel. Oh, fuck yes. Speaking of, I could eat a giant badger. Is it almost time for dinner?
I'm shooting arrows at this dwarf. He's great. Then this other guy twirls his fingers and some light comes on. And the dwarf just... Nothing beats the taste of stolen beer.
What do we have here?
Humans ain't good for much, but they make tasty beer.
Here's to the absolute! drink talking. Absolute wouldn't speak to a worm like you. Gotta be chosen to hear her, like the boss and priestess. Some booze. Love it.
Oi! Leave it, or it'll be wrecked for the gate! Out of my way!
What's the story?
Can't give up now. Still breathing, despite everything.
Heading out.
Now's not the time.
Smells like burnt flesh in here.
I've got it.
moving.
On my way.
Knees high.
True soul parasite, and it's still alive. You should collect it from the corpse.
exhausted. Better find somewhere to camp soon.
It's always a pleasure to see you sauntering over.
What's on your mind?
Still breathing, despite everything.
Let's get going.
No one's stopped me yet. Step carefully. There's a trap.
Praise is ever bleeding.
You know Maglubiet, a tyrannical deity who treats his goblinoid followers as slaves.
Trying to interrupt my prayers? Scared of a real god? You're as goomless as the rest of them. Cause I'm loyal to Maglubiet. Cause I ain't having my head turned by some upstart god. They like feasting, fighting, and fornicating. Who doesn't? Absolute gives them that. Gotta know your place in the world, though. Maglubiet's kept us in line. That's what a god's supposed to do. You think this is funny? Well... Look at where the Absolutes love gotten. Dead! Thanks for breaking me out. Gonna find me a new tribe. One that appreciates the old ways.
Count on me.
Lies before me. Best be on my way.
Let's go. No surrender.
Breathe deep and move.
Yeah?
The ringleaders have to die. The very natural order of things is in danger, thanks to them. Very well.
Light on my feet.
Tactical.
I shall not yield. Let our enemies' corpses nourish the ground.
No choice but to keep going.
Let us see the battle won.
There's no living.
You did it. You actually did it. The leader's dead. Praise Sylvanus. No, that's not right. Praise you, my friend. The Grove owes you a debt beyond measure. Killing's never my first choice, but those three were too dangerous to leave alive.
Let's get out of this pit, firstly.
Return to the Grove. I'll make my own way there.
I can see to some matters there, and we can discuss what comes next amidst more bucolic surroundings than here.
dull moment.
I am ready to rest my weary head. Maybe later.
The drum sits in silence. The distant chatter of the goblins explodes into angry shouting.
It feels like my magic is getting drained. I've got a long road ahead.
Hey, soldier.
Really? Really? Oh, fine.
What's on your mind? With ple...
drum sits in silence. The distant chatter of the goblins explodes into angry shouting. They are running your way, swiftly as they can.
The air is ripe with magic.
Now's not the time.
The drum sits in silence. The distant chatter of the goblins explodes into angry shouting. They are running your way, swiftly as they can.
All right. What now?
I'm sure you're perfectly delightful. I can't talk right now.
The drum sits in silence. The distant chatter of the goblins explodes into angry shouting. They are running your way, swiftly as they can.
A scout just reported. The goblins' leadership has been decimated. We might escape this place yet. I took a collection from all of us. It isn't much, but you've earned it. It's not enough, but it's all we have.
Halsin will likely want to thank you too, Mind. He returned just a while ago. I believe he's catching up with Korga. As for us...
No armies at our heels. Amazing. We can finally leave. But perhaps we need not speak of farewells. We'll join your camp tonight to celebrate if you'll have us. Excellent. Lead the way.
Have a drink.
I'm fine.
Loosen up, Icaron.
No, an owlbear.
Toddlers are easier to please than you lot.
Do you mind? Here's my little treat with their cheeks all flushed. You will come to my bed tonight, won't you? Oh, I certainly can. It would be my pleasure. How about this one? All these accolades from the Tieflings are nothing compared to the sound of my name, cried from your lips. Let me give it another go. Every part of your perfect body whispers temptation. It's as if the gods made you just to ruin me. Well, they worked on you last time, didn't they? How about if I said these little words? Everyone's favorite. I love you. But rather beautiful lie, nonetheless. Now, as much as I relish standing around and saying all my favorite lines at you, I'd much rather we got to experience each other's full portfolio of talents once again. I'll be waiting.
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow. I'm sure there are. You strike me as extremely resourceful. But there are many grateful people here who want to spend time with you. I must not keep you all to myself, as enjoyable as that may be. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here. Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow. We'll have time to spare for that, I sense. I'm surprised you haven't had your fill of me already. Ah, I see. Perhaps I can help you with that. Another time. But there are many grateful people here who want to spend time with you. I must not keep you all to myself, as enjoyable as that may be. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here. Enjoy yourself tonight.
Beautiful night, don't you think? Nothing like a brush with destruction to make one appreciate the majesty of a celestial canvas. It's a view I would once have shared with my companion, though definitely unaccompanied by such revelry. She preferred it when we were alone, curled up before a crackling hearth with some ancient, esoteric tome between us. Ink glinting in the firelight. everyone is comfortable being alone with their thoughts. Though I never felt alone with a book in my hand, or with her for company. I speak of Tara, my Tressim, assistant, my constant companion through all the ills and tribulations my hubris has thrust upon me. She'd be most impressed by our efforts saving these tieflings. Proud, even. And I've given her little to be proud of recently. After I was afflicted with my condition, I locked myself in my tower for an entire year. I was inconsolable, wallowing in my self-inflicted tragedy. I'd given up on myself. But Tara never did. It was her encouragement, her research that led me to my treatment. Once we knew that magically infused items were the key, she went out to find them for me. She saved my life. After so long being cared for by someone else, it feels good to have repaid the favor. Not directly to Tara, but to these poor tieflings. I'm sure she would approve. You remind me of her somewhat. There's a steeliness in you, an unwavering tenacity, even in the face of, to be frank, quite dire odds. Wish she were here for me to make a formal introduction. But I would never ask her to undertake such a journey. She's safer at home. Besides, she was always telling me I needed to spread my wings, so to speak. Find mortal friends instead of hanging onto Mystra's coattails. So that's what I'm doing. I hope. I assure you, were you to meet Tara, you would see the comparison for the flattery it is. But perhaps that's not a point worth laboring further. Suffice it to say, I think rather a lot of you. And there aren't many on this plane who I'd give such high praise. Were I to recite that list, I fear we'd be here at dusk tomorrow. Many things, I assure you. But a conversation better saved for another time. With my condition as volatile as it is, I fear any undue excitement may tip it over the edge, so to speak. Go. Indulge in the frivolities. They're good for the heart. And mine will be all the lighter to see you enjoying yourself.
Sherry! That's infernal for cheers. Or possibly turnip.
Ah, hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone. Really? I'm honored. In truth, I don't feel in a festive mood, and I didn't want to cast a grey cloud over the night. I'm a devil. I love the people from the Grove, but I unsettle them deep down, as I seem to unsettle everyone nowadays. You don't want a devil at your party. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see, and the guests won't take kindly to scars quite so monstrous. Ouch. You don't need to mock me when I'm feeling low. But, off with you. This is your day. Have a dance. Enjoy the music. I'm afraid my feet are firmly planted to the ground this evening. Some time alone beneath the stars, and I'll be back to my old self. Promise. Still, it's a night to remember. You've made sure of that. Have a laugh. Make some noise. Ah, hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone. Really? I'm honored. In truth, I'm a devil, as I seem to. You don't want a devil. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see. And the guests won't. I'll be fine. But, off with you. This is your day. Sometime alone. Still.
Would you look at this place? All these people, happy because of us. It's nice to be somewhere where good is still possible. And with good potations, too. Ah, come on. Let's not spoil an effective thing. You point, I rage, we win. Doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Have fun.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades. Yet they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness. A pity for us both you've turned your back on me so often. Vlaakith demands of me no less. If only you'd earned the right to lay at my side. Come morning, you will wonder. You will wonder how my lips might have tasted, how my fingers on your skin might have felt. Oh, but do enjoy.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? Your words, not mine. But not what I mean. I mean, desperate people. Like those refugees. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. Something like that. I was taught to reject anything that distracted from Shah. But there'll be time for penance later.
Shadowheart trails off and glances around at the party. She turns back to you, mildly surprised you're still there.
I thought you might have wanted to mingle with the others. That's so. I won't pretend I'm not surprised. We haven't always seen eye to eye, after all. Besides, I'm sure there's plenty of people who'll be keen to celebrate most thoroughly with you. Maybe you would. But I'm not cruel enough to get your hopes up, in spite of what some might believe. Oh, you do you? I'm not some dewy-eyed tiefling maiden you just saved. You'll need to do a lot more legwork before I commit to any hip work. What, some advice on how to make me more bearable? All right, if you like. Respect my mission, my beliefs. Keep us focused on finding a cure. If you do that, well, I see no reason why we shouldn't get closer. Now, enough about me. You should go see who'd like to spend the night with the savior of the grove.
Here's my little treat, with their cheeks all flushed. You will come to my bed tonight, won't you? Oh, I certainly can. It would be my pleasure. How about this one? All these accolades from the tieflings are nothing compared to the sound of my name, cried from your lips. Not half as sweet as when I tasted you. Let me give it another go. Every part of your perfect body whispers temptation. It's as if the gods made you just to ruin me. I can go all night with the flattery. But is that really all you want? How about if I said these little words? Everyone's favorite. I love you. Well, it can be true. If only for tonight. Now, as much as I relish standing around and saying all my favorite lines at you, I'd much rather we got to experience each other's full portfolio of talents once again. I'll be waiting.
Everyone seems to be in high... Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? Your words, not... I mean, desperate people. Like those refugees, yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. That's more easily said by some than others. But nobody's here to debate right from wrong.
Shadowheart trails off and...
I thought you might have wanted to mingle with the others. No, but I... Besides, I'm sure there's plenty of people who... Maybe you would. But I'm not cruel enough to get your hopes up, in spite of what some might believe. Why, I've no idea.